my name's Evie and I do Geography A-Level. So the course is split into 3 sections, Physical, Human and the Coursework. The Physical and Human are both worth 40% of the A-Level, and the exam is there's 2 exams, it's 2 hours 30 minutes for both, and then the Coursework is worth 60 marks and it's 20% of the A-Level. So in the Physical, there's 3 topics, water and carbon, and it's all about the water cycles, carbon cycles, the major stores of water and carbon, how they influence the climate, how the climate influences them, human interactions. And it's also really interesting because it's linked to the current climate crisis. So if you're interested in that, I highly suggest geography because it's basically all to do with that. The major case studies is the River X and the Amazon rainforest. The second topic is coasts, and it's all to do with coastal systems, coastal processes, soft and hard engineering and coastal management. And there's so many case studies, all the way from like Odisha in India to Sefton coastline in Liverpool. So that's really interesting. And then the third topic is hazards, which is my favourite, and it's really interesting because it's a big step up actually from the GCSE. So you learn all about the sort of history of the theory behind plate tectonics and how it was discovered, the structure of the earth, but then you also cover all of the 4 major hazards, which are volcanoes, earthquakes, tropical storms and wildfires. And then move on to the human side, and it's the same structure throughout the exam for both sides of the course. So the first topic in human is global systems and global governance, which is really interesting. It's just mainly focused on the economic world and globalization, and basically how globalization has come about and how our economic world will be and has been before. The major case studies for this is Apple TNC, which is really interesting because you get to find out so many crazy things about a company which I buy from and everyone buys from, and some of the facts are quite weird. Anyway, and you also learn about the banana trade, which turns out is huge, and the trade wars which lasted years that went on with the banana trade and Tesco's linked to the banana trade. The second topic of the human paper is changing places, which is really weird and nothing like GCSE at all. It's all to do with almost the psychology behind a place, I guess, and what makes that place what it is, the external, the internal factors. So your case studies for that is actually your local place. So that for us is Abingdon, and Ock Meadow area specifically. And then a far away place, which is Brick Lane in London. Yeah, so that's really interesting because it's just nothing like anything you've done before in geography. The third topic is population and environment. And this is all to do with farming and farming practices and how they either sustain us or don't sustain us sometimes. It's all about population structure, population pyramids. It's massively to do with demographics and population structure really, and how it's influenced. It's also to do with carrying capacity and basically how the earth copes with the increasing population, which can be quite scary but also seriously interesting. So also, as I said before, if you are interested in the climate crisis, I seriously suggest geography because it's all to do with that. And then the last section of the course is the coursework, which is 20% of the A-level. It's worth 60 marks and it is quite a chunky piece of coursework, but once you get it done, it's so satisfying. So the whole idea with your coursework is that you pick either a human topic or a physical topic. So I pick physical, and then you find a question on an area which you want to answer, and then you basically take the examiner through the process of you answering that question. So you do go into the field and you do your data research, you find out those numbers and stuff, and then you write it all down, you explain how you did it, you explain your methodology behind it, you analyse it, evaluate it, conclusion, lots of graphs that you make yourself and then you evaluate them, which also really helps your exam technique because there's so many graphs and data handling, data manipulation in all the geography exams, but they become easy after a while because you do so many. I chose Hurst Castle spit and how longshore drift affects the beach profile and the sediment size and shape there, which sounds really dull, but actually it was quite interesting. And you can choose a human or physical. So overall, it's a really interesting subject and you should definitely pick it. I hope that helps.